sports, it's a fantastic arena, and a fantastic arena to learn about teamwork. And in this video, I want to unpack a few ideas on what we can learn from sports about teamwork. Hi, Randy Wheeler with Wheeler Coaching, and lately I've been working on a book on developing a healthy culture on the sports teams. For years, I was in the sports performance world as a strength and conditioning coach, so I was around different teams. And so I find this fascinating, but whether we're in a sports environment or a corporate environment or a nonprofit environment or whatever we lead, teamwork is critical. I think about the Bulls of the 1990s. The second round of championship Bulls, because they won 6 championships in 7 years. I hate to admit that as a Lakers fan. Yeah, some of you are probably like, why are you a Lakers fan? Well, I am. So it is what it is. Anyway, I digress. You had Scottie Pippen, you had Michael Jordan, and you had Dennis Rodman. And if you don't know who Dennis Rodman is, he was a wild card. He was just crazy on and off the court. But here's the thing about them. They all had their roles, and they accepted their roles. And not only did they accept their roles, but they fulfilled their roles to the highest level of ability. Dennis Rodman, he wasn't a shooter, he was a rebounder, and he was one of the best at the time. Michael Jordan, he's the legend. You probably know how he was. But Scottie Pippen was often overlooked, and he was a great right hand on Michael Jordan. Together, they dominated the court. And here's the principle. Everyone knew their roles. And when everybody knows their roles and fulfills their roles to the best of their ability, the team functions at a higher level. I think about this idea of doing your role to the highest level, and I think about the sport of football. You look at football, and if the tight end's role, which is the guy at the end of the linemen are the guys in front, for those of you that don't know American football, not trying to offend anybody. So the guy at the end, he may like to go out for passes. Quite honestly, one of the first times I played on the football field, way back when in junior high, I was put at tight end. Now, I couldn't catch a ball, but I sure would like to go out there and run and try to catch the ball. But I had to fulfill my role, which was often just to block. And when everyone does their role to the best of their ability, like Pippen, Jordan, and Rodman, or like the lineman, the tight end, everybody doing their job, the team is moving in the right direction. Number 3, I don't know if you remember the early 2000s. The early 2000s, I mentioned the Lakers earlier. There were 2 excellent players in the NBA, Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal. The problem was they didn't get along. They didn't get along at all, and it got out in the public. And Phil Jackson, he wrote a wonderful book. I thought it was a great book on helping understand communication principles called 11 Rings. And he talks about them. And he just highlights how he was able to get them to work together. He had to understand that they were individuals and had to meet them where they were. But in order for them to win championships, they had to work together and not dig in on what they wanted and their own egos. So the third principle is we have to work together and not just want what we want. We have to put our egos aside to work towards the common goal. And in the 1980 Olympics, there was this hockey team, this team of college hockey players that comes together. And this team of hockey players comes together, and Herb Brooks, he's the coach of the team, and there's a scene in the movie Miracle. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it isn't. But they had just played horrible. And he's sitting there and he's blowing the whistle and he's saying again. Blows the whistle again. And he's having them sprint across the ice, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, until finally it's getting tense. And one individual, he steps forward and he says his name. And he doesn't say his name tied to the college he was a part of, but he says, I'm part of the USA hockey team. and he was done. What was Brooks doing? Brooks was creating adversity, because in sports, there's unity through adversity. When there's difficult times and a group of people come together and work through that adversity, they come closer together. Think of anything your team has been through, and the adversity is what brought you together. During the COVID epidemic, or pandemic, whatever you want to call it, there was adversity. And teams either divided or they came together under a common goal. And when we have that common goal, we can row the boat forward together and accomplish great things. So everyone knows their roles. Everyone fulfills their roles to the best of their ability. They work together and not fighting for their own individual desires. And then they unite through the adversity. Those are just 4 ideas. Which of those do you need to work on? Which of those could you put into practice with your team this week? Hey, if you have ideas and thoughts on this topic, share with me. Love to learn from you. If you're not getting this directly to your email inbox, please go to WheelerCoachingSystems.com. Scroll down and get a free leadership ebook. Get content like this directly to your email inbox. And if you found this helpful, please share it with others. Have a fantastic day and lead well.